What's up guys, Doomsday here. Today we're back again, and in this video we're going to be playing some Olaf in the jungle. So I hope y'all have been enjoying the Olaf content that I've been putting on my channel lately, as Olaf is probably the champ that I've been playing the most of lately, and it's kind of the new Evelyn. If you followed me lately, you know I went through an Evelyn phase where I played a lot of Evelyn, and I still do play a decent amount of Evelyn. Evelyn is definitely a good champ if you have tanks on your team. Plus, if you need some AP damage, Evelyn, for sure a solid choice. And actually, on their comp, they have an AP Gragas. So that's actually another choice you can have. But Olaf provides a little bit more than Evelyn, I think, in terms of tankiness and teamfight utility-wise. You get a front line, you get good damage. Can't really complain. The main complaint is if it was AD damage or AP damage, that would be completely broken, because most comps tend to be AD majority of the times. So yeah, that's kind of the one thing about Evelyn that I do miss, is the AP damage is very, very nice. But starting off, I'm just clearing my jungle over here, and I do start off with my first ability, as I was just kind of told and realized that they did buff the first ability damage a while back. So actually starting with first ability is now faster than starting with third ability. So definitely recommend doing that. But I usually just do 4 camp clear into Scuttle, and like you can tell like how fast my jungle clear is. Like I can finish with all 4 camps like before Scuttle even spawns. Like I'm gonna be done with this camp like right when Scuttle spawns, and that's very, very nice jungle clear. You're able to get in pretty good efficiency, plus make it to Scuttle on time. And then kind of from Scuttle, you can either fight at Scuttle, take it, or once you take it, you can kind of look for a gank, or you can do whatever. But I'm pinging on the bot side. The enemy Gragas is down there, so I know he's not going to be contesting me anytime soon. But I actually saw that he had both his red and blue buff on him, so I kind of know his rotation. He kind of cleared a bit of red side jungle, and then he went over to blue side into that bot side Scuttle over there. So I know his Krugs will be up here because well, they should be up, but it looks like I'm actually looking for this gank over here. I want to see if this Pantheon engages, but they flash out, and I actually want to dive this because they just burn flash. I actually wait for their stun over there, and now I look for the engage. So able to pick that up over there. Plus just barely able to live, and now I take the Krugs over here. So that was a pretty good dive. It's very, very key in that case. Notice how I waited for Pantheon to use his stun before I went for the dive, because like the worst thing that could happen in that case is I auto him once and then he stuns me and I just died to the turret. So that's a pretty big mistake. But now I'm trying to get a recall in. I realize I am trying to recall a bit too late, so I do back up a bit. Try not to get too greedy with the recalls. But I actually think I just go back and take my Gromp and then recall after that. Clear out, scout out any warding or anything. But I'm gonna take this, get a reset in, and then go ahead and head back to my red side jungle. So now I'm level 5, I have my ult. I can kind of look for a gank if I want. And really the main reason why I picked Olaf in this match was just because essentially everybody on their team but Vayne, I do pretty decently into. Olaf, very good pick into Malphite, into Veigar, into Gragas, into Pantheon. He can get out of all of their crowd controls. All of them rely on some sort of stun or knock up, cage, etc. But with Olaf, of course, you can ignore any of that over here. So they unfortunately have warding of me, so I still look for this engage over here. I'm too fast. Able to pick up that kill on Veigar. And I think I actually saw Veigar burn ult earlier, or burn flash a little bit ago, so I knew that they didn't have flash, so I'm pretty sure that was why I went for the engage. I don't think I pointed out when it happened, but I do think I remember seeing that. So we're able to kind of run him down over there. And you can kind of see the AoE damage from Olaf is so nice. If you have both your second and your third ability off cooldown, because the thing is, if you use just your third ability, you will take a decent amount of damage yourself, and like you'll eventually like get kind of low. But if you use both your second and third ability at the same time to like start up and engage, like you're gonna take absolutely like no damage just because you get so much lifesteal from it. It's absolutely insane. And you can kind of see over there that like once you get into your ult, and that was bit of a risky recall, but where's the fun in that if you don't do any, if you don't get your momentary risky recalls in, you know? But as you can see, like once I press ult, there's almost nothing they could do, because all those champs, like Gragas's engage relies a lot on him dashing in. Malphite's engage relies with his ult. Pantheon relies on his stun a bunch. Veigar needs his cage to kind of create distance, but with Olaf you can negate all that. So that's kind of why I say Olaf is one of the best junglers. Like, I think it's a jungler that every, like, jungle player should have in their kit, just because in certain drafts, it's just so strong. And this is one of those cases where, like, essentially just because of the draft difference, there's such little that they could do against me. As long as I don't throw in the early game, I'm just going to scale so well that they won't be able to do anything. And I could just essentially just run them all down. But now, I kind of decide to just group over here. Actually, this Vigor just walks into here, so he flashes, able to pick up the kill over there. And now I wanted to go for Dragon after that kill, but our ADC unfortunately went down. The reason why I didn't really want to fight for Dragon, I'm gonna be honest, I don't like playing with Ziggs players anymore. Back when I pushed to Grandmaster, like long time ago, like about 2 years ago or so, Ziggs was like the most broken mid laner. Like, you would be like banning Ziggs. But that time has kind of passed. The game is very fast paced now. Like, you don't get the time to scale or anything, but able to pick up the Gragas over here. And now I kind of dip off before Vigor gets back. Take the berries, and now I see they're kind of looking for this kill over here. Maybe I can land an axe or two to slow him down, but we're able to pick him up, so now I kind of start up this Herald. And one of my favorite things about Olaf is his lifesteal. His lifesteal is so nice. Like, you can go to like 1 HP in a fight, go back to a camp, use your second ability, and then just like heal back up halfway, and then re-enter the fight. It's one of my favorite parts. But now, able to get this over here, and now I get a reset. And the reason why I don't run straight to Dragon is just because I haven't shopped in a while, and just because we just killed the enemies. When you kill an enemy, they respawn in base, they get a shop in. So it's just very important to keep track of like the shop evenness, because like, even though I have a gold lead, if I haven't converted that into items, it really doesn't mean anything at all. So that's a mistake a lot of people make, is they might just run straight to the Dragon, fight again, and then lose because they're behind in items because they haven't shopped yet. So just got to be careful and make sure that that doesn't happen. But now they get in a pretty good engage over here. I see this Gragas behind us. Trying to see if I can get an engage onto this Vayne over here. Thankfully able to block off the Malphite ult, and now kind of run back. I am one shot. That's a great heal by Leona. And now I kind of realize I'm a bit of a sticky spot, and watch this over here. This is what I love about Olaf. Just because Olaf is low health does not mean he's almost dead. People underestimate Olaf so much, and a lot of people forget that as Olaf gets weaker, like as you like kill him more, essentially as he gets lower health, he actually gets more attack speed and more damage that way. And that is when Olaf can for sure turn up. And you can see like Olaf is just so strong. And now able to pick up the Dragon over here, and we're able to get both of the first objectives, plus we get the first turret with the Herald. Or no, we already got, we might have gotten first turret top already, but we're able to get another turret, or we got first turret mid. Oh, actually, that's very good. We got all the first tier mid turrets, and first tier mid, top, and bot turret, and that's so huge against Olaf, because now they can't recall to, or not recall, but now they can't just kite back to those turrets, because that's an issue that you'll have with Olaf a lot. I think we might actually, maybe we'll see that in this game. I'm not sure if it was this game or another Olaf game, where like, if they have turrets up, they could just constantly just retreat to them. And it's kind of a little bit hard to turret dive on Olaf sometimes, just because you don't have big dashes, huge mobility. You have a little bit of movement speed, but it can sometimes be a bit hard. So now I go ahead and get my mercs, and then start working towards my twin guard over here. And gonna keep on farming up, essentially. So now they're going in pretty deep. They're engaging pretty hard over here. I'm just going to keep on farming up my jungle. Pushing out waves over here. And now can kind of just look to get some warding in their jungle over here. Get some timers on the camps, because right now there's no objectives up or anything. Waves are pushed out pretty well. The biggest thing I could do is just get warding in their jungle timers, and I kind of got a bit scared by all of them popping up over there, so I did smite a bit early, unfortunately. But now, see this Gragas over here, and I'm just able to run him down. As you can see, there's nothing he can do over here. I'm trying to get this Vayne, but they got like 3 barriers somehow. I don't even know where all those barriers come from, but I dip back. I wait for my teammates to get over here. They kind of start up an engage. I look for the angle, seeing if I can run this Olaf down, or the Malphite down. Able to pick him up with my ult, or with my axe, and now kind of just kite back to their jungle. Really the main thing, I'm just keeping up warding in the jungle, like trying to keep an eye on like any rotates throughout the jungle or when their camps are spawning or anything, so no. See this Pantheon over here? Yeah, we can't really push against that. They're all around there. Teammates are kind of recalling. The biggest thing that we could do right now is just kind of deny these camps. Like, don't let them scale, because they have a pretty good scale in comp. Like, as you can see, like, I could just run through all of their crowd control. There's nothing they can do. That is what I love about Olaf. But I'm literally just walking through their jungle, farming up any opportunity I get over here. Unfortunately, they had warding of me in there. If they would have face checked that, they would have died. But just going to keep on pushing up waves, farming up jungle, getting as much turret damage down as I can. I'm not going to be able to take down that turret, but still get a decent chunk of it. And now Herald's respawning. I want to go over there. Go ahead and grab that objective, but my teammates are maybe overstaying their welcome a bit too much over here, I think. They probably need to dip out. You can kind of see I'm checking on them if they need help or not, but at this point I'm like, if they want to overstay, that's on them. I might as well get this Herald while it's still here, but actually it looks like they're able to get a kill or two, which is nice, but just got to be a bit careful not to overstep too much, but able to grab the Herald over here, and now I think I might just go topside and use it over here, just because I know that Herald can one-charge that turret. So, gonna go ahead and drop that down, and just trying to engage, but Vayne just flashes away. Something that I want to point out against Vayne is, you have to be very cautious when you use your ultimate against champs like Vayne, Tristana, just because they have their, like, Tristana has ult that's the pushback. Vayne has that one, like, ability that can, like, push you back also. So if you time your ult wrong, you're going to get pushed back. Like, if you don't use your ult in time, you're just going to get pushed back from your engage and you won't be able to get back onto him. And I think we might see that in this video, maybe. I might actually mess that up once, but it's just something I wanted to point out that you need to be aware of what, like, abilities the enemy has, kind of. So now you can see, I'm literally just walking through the jungle time after time, just taking anything, just trying to stall out their team comp from scaling, because as I said, they do have a pretty good scaling comp. Like, if you don't know, AP Gragas is one of the best scaling champs. Like, AP Gragas in the late game can one burst absolutely anybody, and it's so strong, especially if you haven't. The issue with AP Gragas is, like, just the early game is so weak, so slow paced that it's sometimes a bit difficult to play just because the early game is so weak. But once you get to the late game, he's an absolute monster. I guess same with Vayne. Malphite's good team fight champ. I guess Pantheon just has crowd control. He kind of falls off in the late game, actually. But yeah, I'd mentioned earlier, Ziggs players, I used to love playing with them in the past just because they used to be such a strong champ. But now, like, it's just super fast paced. People are always wanting to fight for every objective. Like, I guess, like, back then, like, people would give up objectives easier. You wouldn't have to fight for everything, but now, like, your teammates are always going to ping to fight. So, like, Ziggs just takes a bit too long to scale. His early game presence really isn't there. He can get an ult in, I guess. That's pretty good. But other than that, other mid laners provide so much more than Ziggs, I'd say. So now just pushing in these waves over here. This Pantheon's just pushing side lanes. I guess smart for him. Like, he's at least getting something from his team and nobody's matching him. Somebody should definitely be matching that Pantheon over here, but I see an opportunity onto this Gragas over here. Able to just use Glorious and run him down. And now pushing this mid turret over here. Maybe we can get this mid turret. We have a mini wave coming up. I can maybe force him off. I could probably just ult in and get a decent amount of damage. So I think, yeah, that's kind of what I do. I just try and ult in and see if I can get anything done. I actually messed up my flash over there. That was a bit sad. But I get out with 1 HP. They try and chase me. We're able to get the mid turret and a kill or two. Ooh, that's a big Malphite ult. But not in time. So we actually lose 2 top turrets from that, unfortunately. But we're able to get the inhib turret, which is pretty good. Able to get a bunch of kills. And now, trying to run down this Pantheon. He flashes out. Let's see if I could actually... No, I don't think I could... Or do I try and chase this down? Looks like I actually do. Oh, I forget. No, I trolled myself. I forgot that... I learned the hard way, I guess. When you ult, the blast cones don't work on you. Don't try that at home, kids. I guess there's a lesson to be learned there. Learn something new in this game. But... take the red buff, and now, as you can see, we're just walking through the jungle. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get to Pantheon on time. He's able to get out. Bit sad, but it happens. But again, if you've been enjoying all the content lately, I have been doing better with consistency. Make sure to comment down below what y'all want to see. I kind of want to do a tier list sometime soon, like my own personal tier list of what I think is very, very strong. And again, tier lists are kind of hard to do just because it also depends on like personal preference. So like, as you can see, well, one thing that I want to point out is like play around places where people don't have vision of you. So like, as you can see, that was a good spot for me to hide. I'm able to pick up, oh, that's such a perfect Malphite ult, actually. You can see that one tilted me a bit much. A little bit of an int on my part, but that Malphite ult was perfect. I actually watched that one back on the replay because that was such a perfect ult from them. They timed it so beautifully. Like, as soon as my ult ended, it hit. Like, a millisecond earlier, and I would have gotten that kill in Vigar and would have survived because I would have gotten my Triumph healing for my rune, and that would have been so, so clutch. But this Pantheon's just pushing inhib on top side, and nobody's matching him. It should definitely be the Garen matching him just because it's a Garen. Definitely Ziggs can't really do anything versus Pantheon. I guess Lucian can a bit, but they probably shouldn't be with the Pantheon by themselves. I could too, but I think my value is probably a bit better elsewhere on the map. But as I was saying, playing around places where like where the enemy doesn't have vision of you, because a mistake that a lot of Olaf players make is like they'll kind of just run up to the enemy face first, and the enemy will see you coming, and then they'll just kite you back. But if you play around corners, if you play around warding, like how I did there, how I kind of like stood around a corner, so they didn't know where I was until they rounded the corner, and I can get an easier engage onto them. That's just so much easier. It's like you'll see me. I like to play around bushes a lot, like to play around corners, because you can't see around them. Like, and as you can see, like in a case like that, like if I were to run up to that vein like straight up, I would die just because they knew I was coming from a mile away. They would just dash back, kite me back, and now I kind of want to push this top tier turret over here. Trying to get as much damage down as I can. And actually, Ziggs can just destroy that turret, I think, with their, like, saddle, or, not saddle, satchel. Saddle is what you put on a little horse. I think Ziggs can actually just, like, destroy that with their satchel, but it looks like they're just farming up the blue buff, so kind of have to back off. And, like, this is what I love about Olaf again. Like, look at that healing. I'm back to full health, and that dude just took the red buff from me. Very, very sad. But now, as you can see, I'm just trying to play around corners over here, seeing if I can get a good engage. And now, I see this Vayne over here, and this is what I meant. That was a huge mistake. And I just trolled that so hard. I needed to ult a bit earlier just because Vayne, and maybe I can get this Vigar over here, but not able to. I go down, and not looking good. That was not the best angle over there. We're at least able to get a kill onto Malphite and Gragas, and maybe this Leona can get an extra kill. Nice. So at least we got 3 of them, so not the worst, but we just make the issue of pushing out too far. As I was saying, it's kind of awkward sometimes in cases like that where there are no objectives up, but the enemy's kind of just sitting underneath a turret. And I'm saying, like, the biggest thing you could do is just set up warding and then wait for dragon to spawn and farm up the jungle as it spawns. If you play around the jungle a lot, it's very easy to get good picks and to, like, play around your own pace. Whereas forcing the lane like that is honestly a bit risky, and it's way harder too because it's so easy to slip up in front of a turret just because the enemy has the protection of the turret, as you see there. Like, they could just kite back to the turret. So just something to point out for sure. But now, gonna keep on farming up over here. And I don't think I make that mistake of ulting too late again. As I was saying, like, that's the thing about Olaf is, like, one small mistake can cost you so much. Because you can see, like, I made that one small mistake in that one case. And it just costed me that entire, like, engage. Because I was not able to get onto him at all. And that's what makes Olaf, like, a little bit of a hard champion. You can see Gragas' damage is turning up. Like, he just pretty much took out 2/3 of that Ziggs health with his ult. Now imagine if he landed any of his other abilities, that Ziggs would be dead for sure. So now it's important for me, Leona, Garen to frontline. Make sure our backline doesn't get hit by that Gragas. So I don't want him to keep on kiting up, to keep on going up. Because look, they're just kiting back to their turret and to their nexus. Like, if we try and go for this engage, Vayne's just going to keep on dashing back to the nexus. We aren't going to be able to get any kills or anything. So I'm trying to ping him, like, just clear out the jungle. stop their scaling as long as we can, and then get the dragon. Set up good warding, push out waves. And now, looking pretty good. And now I'm keeping an eye over here. That's a bit of a scuff spot. They get an engage over here. Actually, they group up, but that's actually a little bit of a mistake from them. Somebody's on their backline, actually. I think the Leona actually sacrificed themselves for the sake of this. But now, trying to get onto this Gragas over here and being a bit careful of this Gragas damage. He can actually one burst me. Like, if he lands his knock up on me, he can for sure kill me over there. If he lands like knock up plus like first ability and second ability or whatever, he can kill me. So I'm just trying to regen as much as I can with my second ability. And now that I have ult, I don't have to worry about getting knocked up. So I can just push this in, and now we should be able to end here. And we are able to, but I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. This is for sure a very, very fun Olaf match. And almost every Olaf match is fun, but if you did, make sure to like and subscribe. And that's going to be it for this one. I'll see y'all in the next video.